You have never had a symptom. No pain, no discharge, no sore, nothing. So you are clean, right? I need you to stop right there because that assumption has quietly changed the lives of millions of men who thought the exact same thing. Welcome to Dr.CandidAi, the channel where we talk about the men's health topics that most people avoid using real science and zero judgment. I am your AI-assisted medical educator, and every single thing I share here is sourced, fact-checked, and designed to protect your health, not to embarrass you. If you are new here, please hit subscribe right now. I post videos every week on the topics men actually need to know about, but rarely get told. This channel exists because those gaps in men's health education are genuinely dangerous, and today's topic is a perfect example of why. Now, here is something I want to tell you up front. Before we get into the science, I have put together a completely free STI awareness and testing guide, a clean, simple document that walks you through exactly what to get tested for, how often, what to say to your doctor, and what your results mean. I will mention it again in a few minutes, and the download link is right in the description below this video. Totally free, no sign-up required. Stay until the end, and I will tell you exactly where to find it. Let me give you a number that most men have never heard. According to the CDC, approximately 20 million new sexually transmitted infections occur in the United States every year. Half of those are in people between the ages of 15 and 24, and the majority of the people carrying those infections, the majority, have absolutely no symptoms. None. No burning, no sores, no pain, nothing that would ever make them think to get checked. Here is why this is a medical problem, not just a personal one. An infection with no symptoms is still an active infection. It is still in your body. It is still causing biological changes you cannot feel. And it is still transmissible to every sexual partner you have while you are completely unaware. Chlamydia, the most commonly reported STI in the United States, is asymptomatic in approximately 75% of infected men, 3 out of 4. Gonorrhea, which is now developing antibiotic resistance, shows no symptoms in roughly 50% of infected men. Herpes, HSV2, is estimated to affect 1 in 6 Americans, and studies show that around 87% of people who have it do not know. They have never had a blister, they have never had an outbreak, but they can still transmit the virus, including during periods with no visible sores, through a process called asymptomatic viral shedding, and HIV. In the early acute phase of HIV infection, the window where viral load is actually at its highest and transmission risk is greatest, some people experience mild flu-like symptoms that pass in a week. Others feel nothing at all. Without a test, there is no way to know. Coming up, I am going to show you a breakdown of the most common silent infections, why your body does not always fight back the way you would expect, and the exact testing schedule that doctors actually recommend. But first, there is something about how your immune system handles these infections that most people get completely wrong. And quickly, I mentioned the free STI awareness and testing guide earlier. It includes a full table of which infections are most likely to be silent, a testing frequency guide based on your situation, and a simple script you can actually use when talking to your doctor so you do not have to figure out what to say. The link is in the description, completely free. Download it, keep it, share it with someone who might need it. Agitation, why your body does not always sound the alarm. Here is the part that surprises most people. A lack of symptoms does not mean your immune system is winning. It often means the infection has found a way to exist below the threshold of your body's alarm system. And that is actually more dangerous, not less. Take Chlamydia trachomatis, the bacteria behind chlamydia. It infects the cells lining your urethra and reproductive tract, but it has evolved to do so in a way that triggers a limited inflammatory response. Your body is fighting it, just not loudly enough for you to notice. Meanwhile, chronic low-grade inflammation can silently damage the epididymis, the tube that carries sperm, over months or years, potentially leading to fertility problems you would not discover until you tried to have children. HPV, human papillomavirus, works differently. Most strains are cleared by the immune system on their own within 2 years, but certain high-risk strains like HPV-16 and HPV-18 integrate their DNA directly into your cells. No wart, no sore, no signal, just a slow cellular change that, over a decade or more, can become cancer. In men, this most often shows up as oropharyngeal cancer, cancer of the back of the throat, or penile and anal cancer. HPV is now the leading cause of oropharyngeal cancer in men in the United States, surpassing tobacco. Herpes operates through a mechanism called latency. After the initial infection, which many people never even notice, the virus retreats into nerve tissue near the base of the spine and essentially goes dormant. It is not gone, it is waiting. And periodically, without any visible sore, without any discomfort, it reactivates and sheds infectious viral particles on the skin surface. A partner can be exposed during a period where the person carrying the virus genuinely feels perfectly fine and has no idea anything is happening. This is not about blame. This is biology. These infections have evolved specifically to be invisible because invisible infections spread more effectively, and they exploit our most natural assumption. That feeling fine means being fine. In a moment, I am going to show you the full breakdown. Which infections are most commonly asymptomatic, what the actual transmission risk is during silent periods, and critically, when and how to get tested. This is the information your doctor should give you at every checkup, but often does not. The silent STI breakdown. Let me put the data on the table. Here is a clinical breakdown of the most common sexually transmitted infections, how frequently they are asymptomatic in men, and whether they can still be transmitted with no symptoms present. STI percent, who have no symptoms, most common, silent sign can still spread, every single one of them, transmissible with no symptoms. This is not a scare tactic. It is documented clinical data, and it has one clear implication. The only way to actually know your status is to test for it. Stay with me, because next I'm going to walk you through the exact testing schedule that clinical guidelines actually recommend for men, broken down by situation. And then I will tell you what to say to your doctor so you get the right tests, not just the ones your clinic automatically offers. The testing guide, what to get and when. Here is what clinical evidence actually recommends. Most men never get a full STI screening because it is not automatically offered at a standard checkup. You often have to ask, and many men do not ask because they feel fine or because they feel uncomfortable bringing it up. This is exactly the gap this channel exists to close. Who you are recommended. Test frequency, what to ask for sexually active adult under 25 at least once a year. Full STI panel, chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, syphilis, men who have sex with men, every 3 to 6 months. Full panel plus hepatitis, B/C, rectal/throat swabs, sexually active adult, 25 plus, at least every 1 to 2 years. HIV, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea, herpes, if concerned. New sexual partner before becoming intimate. Full panel for both partners. Pregnant first prenatal visit. HIV, syphilis, hepatitis B, chlamydia, gonorrhea. Anyone, no symptoms, no risk factors. At least once in lifetime for HIV test. It is now recommended universally. A few critical points about testing that most people do not know. First, standard urine tests or blood panels at a routine physical do not include STI screening unless you specifically request it. You have to ask for a full STI panel by name. Second, herpes is not included in standard STI panels. If you want to know your herpes status, you need to specifically request an IgG blood test and ideally request type-specific testing for HSV1 and HSV2. Third, HIV has a window period, the time between infection and when a test can reliably detect it. Modern fourth-generation HIV tests can detect infection as early as 18 to 45 days after exposure. If you test within that window, you may need to retest at 45 and 90 days to be certain. Testing is not a sign that something is wrong. Testing is the responsible, informed choice that protects you and the people you care about. It is what men who take their health seriously do, the same way they get their blood pressure checked or their cholesterol measured. One more thing before we wrap up. And this one matters more than anything else I have said today, because knowing all of this is only useful if it changes what you actually do. Here is what to do next. What to do right now. Step 1. Decide to get tested, not someday. Schedule it this week. If you have a doctor, call and say you want a full STI panel, including HIV and syphilis. If you do not have a doctor or you want more privacy, you can use Planned Parenthood, local health clinics, or home testing services like Everlywell or MyLabBox, which ship discreetly and give you results online. Many of these are covered by insurance or available free at community health centers. Step 2. Understand that this is a health decision, not a moral one. The presence of an STI does not reflect your character. It reflects the biological reality that many of these infections travel silently in people who feel completely healthy. Millions of people are in that situation right now. Step 3. If you are in a relationship, consider both of you getting tested together before changing protection practices. This is not an accusation. It is a mutual health decision that removes ambiguity and builds trust. Step 4. Download the free testing guide I mentioned at the start. It is a clean, printable document with the silent STI breakdown table, the testing frequency guide, and a simple script for talking to your doctor. The link is in the description below. It costs you nothing. The free STI awareness and testing guide is right there in the description below this video. Click the link, download it. It is a simple, clear document you can keep for yourself, share with a friend, or bring to your next doctor's visit. No email required, no paywall. It is free because this information should be free. If this video gave you something you did not know before, hit like. That one click tells YouTube this content matters and puts it in front of men who need it. Subscribe if you have not. We cover the men's health topics that the system underserves every single week. And leave a comment below. Tell me, did you know that most STIs can be completely silent? Or did this genuinely surprise you? I read every comment and it helps shape the next video. I am Dr.CandidAi. I am AI-assisted, transparent about it, and completely committed to giving you the real information. Take care of your health, get tested, and I will see you in the next video.